Alright. Yay! Tuesday. Welcome. We'll wait for a couple people to come on. Hi guys. Hi everybody. Yay! If someone could send me a little heart, just making sure that you can hear me okay with my headphones. That would be solid. And you're not going to need any props today. We are going to start seated. Thank you for the heart. And our focus this week is internal and external rotations. So we're going to find a lot of juicy hip stuff and some shoulder stuff. But to start, just find yourself seated on your tush. Comfortable position with your legs. If you prefer laying down, lay down. It's the end of the day. And then once you find yourself here, just let your hands rest somewhere. Maybe that's one hand to chest, one hand to belly, maybe hands resting on your knees. And let your eyes soften to a close if that feels comfortable. If not, just soften your gaze to a point in front of you. Think about letting your eyebrows get a little heavier towards your cheeks. Think about letting the muscles right around the temples soften, almost feel like your ears feel a little heavier on the side of your head. Take a nice deep inhale in, feeling your chest inflate a little bit in and up towards the sky. And as you exhale without rounding your spine, just narrow your waist and feel the shoulders drop away a little bit from the ears. Okay. You're going to take one more breath like this, just trying to find a sense of stillness and a little bit more heaviness. As you feel that last little exhale, I simply want you to let your right ear drop towards your right shoulder. If this is feeling good, you want a little bit more of a stretch along the left side of that neck. You're going to take your left fingertips just to the floor, maybe creepy crawl them out a few inches. And then if you want to deepen it even more, you can take the right hand to the left side of your head, giving yourself the gentlest little tug down. Can you unclench the jaw? Feel the muscles in your face start to melt towards the right side, towards the floor. Turning your nose towards your armpit just slightly. Take one more big breath in here. And then keeping your head exactly where it is, let your right hand relax down by your side. You're going to draw your chin to chest. Notice if you've sunk into your pelvis, grow a little taller. And then draw your chin to that left armpit. Finish a head circle as you roll the back of the head across your mid-upper back, opening your throat towards the sky. Pause if this feels like a real good stretch. And then right ear behind right shoulder. Finding your head stacked right back on top of your spine. Open your eyes, give it all a little shake. We're just gonna do that on the other side before we get moving. So left ear drops to left shoulder. Again, eyes closed or gaze soft, whatever works. Making sure the jaw is unclenched. Walk your right fingertips out just a little bit if you need it. If you don't, just kick it. And then left hand to the side of your head, giving yourself just the littlest bit of traction, never really pulling, but almost just letting the weight of your hand give your right side of your neck a little more pull. If it feels good, rotate your nose towards the armpit, still keeping the jaw soft, eyes heavy. One more breath here into the right side of your body. And then let that left hand slide to the floor, keeping your head still, arms are relaxed and heavy by your sides. Left ear drops behind left shoulder. Open the throat to the sky. Right ear behind right shoulder, not forcing it if it feels tight today. Nose to armpit. Chin to chest. Stack your spine up nice and tall. Give it all a little shake. Give your shoulders a little roll. Find yourself lying on your back. So getting onto your back however feels best. Remember trying to move mindful in and out of every position. Once you find yourself on your back, feet planted on the floor, just take a moment to let your hands find your hip bones. Give your head a little rock, no, a little rock, yes. And then flex your toes off the floor, feeling the rest of your foot stay heavy. Finding a little active pull on the front of the shins. I want you to let your toes relax, feeling the shins kind of soften. And just do that 2 more times. Lifting your toes off the mat, feeling a little tenseness in the ankles, maybe even the calves. Letting the toes soften and feeling the weight of your thigh bones get a little heavier. 1 more just like this. Good. The next time you relax the toes, I want you to press into your full footprint on both feet as you gently start to rock your belly button towards your spine. Pause once you find your pelvic tuck. You're tilting your pubic bone to the ceiling. Pinkies just live in your hip creases. And then gently let your butt relax right back into neutral. Good. So with your palms on your hip bones, you're guiding the hip bones in and up towards your low ribs as you tilt the pubic bone to the sky on that exhale, feeling your belly button crease just a little bit. And then gently releasing back into neutral. Good. The idea here is that your thigh bones do not shift as you move your hip sockets around the tops of them. Last 2 like this. So if that means your range of motion today is just a little bit tinier, then all good. Keep it tiny. The next time that you tilt that pubic bone to the sky, keep it there. Squeeze your butt cheeks a little bit. Take a hand to your front 2 ribs. Think of reminding them to stay heavy as you squeeze your butt and peel your hips up towards the sky. Pause at a place that feels like your ribs might pop open. Remind them that they are heavy to the mat. Shoulders are relaxed, and then replace that left hand to the floor. Pause in that bridge. I want you to feel your big toes and pinky toes press a little heavier. I want you to feel your heels press a little heavier. And then can you tilt your tail between your legs even more as you start to squeeze an invisible tennis ball between your thighs. All of a sudden, you just activated those inner thighs as your big toes press down a little deeper. Finding a strong connection to both butt cheeks. Give them a poke if they ain't on. And then nice and slow, melt your spine back down into the mat. You're awakening that spine with a little articulation. You're warming up the cheeks with a little bit of movement. And you're trying to keep your upper body relatively chill. A lot of times we start with ab work, which at the end of a long day of maybe sitting at a desk isn't always the best for your neck and shoulders. So starting to feel the warmth in the lower half of the body as you find some relaxation in the upper half is kind of key. Don't worry, that ab work is coming. Just 2 more. If flipping your palms to the sky helps you relax the shoulders even heavier into the mat, take that transition. Good. Chin is always staying off of chest. The next time you peel those hips up towards the ceiling, y'all, we're going to stay there. No big deal. We're going to take 10 little pulses up towards the sky. Try not to bounce your hips up and down. It is not a saucy little dance move. Instead is a deepened squeeze. So I always think of my butt like a fist. I'm just tightening the squeeze of the fist, tightening the squeeze of the butt to tilt my pubic bone just an extra centimeter to the sky. Notice if your knees are starting to traction wide, can you reach them forward over those big toes for 3 more pulses? Last 2, soften the front of your chest nice and wide. Last 1, lift your booty up, take a breath, melt it all the way down. Letting everything soften at the bottom. Hands are going to find the back of the head. Take a breath in with those elbows nice and wide. Take an exhale to tip them forward as you nod and curl, finding your first flexion. Take a second here. Press your feet into the mats. Give your butt a little wiggle, making sure your glutes are staying pretty relaxed. And then see if you can press your head a little heavier into the palms. Lift your chest an extra inch to the sky. Pause here and just try and make a connection as you breathe in this shape. Once you feel a little bit of vibration mode, you're going to lay your head right back down, elbows open wide for the front of the chest stretch. Deep breath as the elbows widen. Exhale, feel your front 2 ribs knit together. Feel the pressure of them into the mat and feel the flexion forward as your head stays heavy. Pause in a point that feels challenging but not necessarily that high. And then lengthen your head right back down. You are always going for length in the spine versus how high you can lift. I'm sure you could touch your kneecaps with the tip of your nose if you wanted to. But I just want you to find the sensation with the minimal amount of effort, you know? Okay, the next time that we find that ab curl, you've given your butt enough of a moment to chill. You're going to curl up and hold it there. I want you to tilt your pubic bone to the sky, feeling your low abs engaged. Squeeze your butt, hover it 1 inch off the mat. Imagine that the tips of your elbows were being pulled up towards the ceiling and your pubic bone was being pulled up towards the ceiling. Try and think of your belly button gluing down to the floor as your butt cheeks lift 1 extra centimeter. And then gently unroll your tailbone, lower your head back down. Deep breath at the bottom, we're only going for 4. Find your ab curl first, make that differentiation, then draw the navel in, then press into your feet, then squeeze your booty cheeks, feel the whole connection from crown of the head all the way out through the kneecaps. Squeeze it all just a little bit tighter, lift your chest a little higher, and then unroll your tail, lay your head down, widen those elbows. God, that's hard. Go for last 2. Oof. Trying to make the first curl just as important as the final movement. Can your knees track forward instead of open? Remember, butt does not have to lift high. You just want to find the engagement, then you've done the work. On this last one, we curl up, we hold, we tuck the pelvis, we lift the booty cheeks, we hold. Keeping it here, you're going to start to widen your knees 2 inches as if they were pointing over your pinky toes, a little external rotation. Internally rotate slightly. Think of knees drawing over the big toes as you find them reaching forward. It is a 1 inch open and a 1 inch close. This is a full body connection. Keep the tuck of your pelvis. You can always do this with your head down and your butt slightly lifted. Try to get that chin off of chest. Go for 4, feeling the knees open 2 inches, squeezing them back towards each other for 3. Can you curl the chest a little higher, press into the feet a little more? Last 2. On this last one, squeeze them to parallel, unroll your tailbone, lay your head down. Take a big old breath. Legs extend long. Arms reach up and overhead. Give it all a little pull, a little length. Maybe give your butt a little wiggle. Never hurts. And then with arms to the sky, plug those shoulders in. Let your legs just be dead weight. You're going to nod and curl yourself all the way up to seated. If your legs fly up, no big deal. Use your hands on those thighs for a little bit of traction. There's a lot of reasons why your legs might lift up in a roll up. We'll address those later. And then if you can grab the bottoms of the feet, you guys take it. If not, grab the shins and find a little point and flex of your feet. Feel a little openness in the hamstrings. Feel a little rotation from the ribs if it feels okay. When you're ready, you're going to flip on to all 4s, hands and knees. Finding yourself on hands and knees, you're going to take a couple cat-cows. Now that you've articulated against gravity, you're going to find it as a nice deep stretch. So whatever version of a cat-cow sounds delicious right now, serve yourself that treat. A little ear to hip is calling your name. Live your best life. And if you're like, I just want to sit in a child's pose until we move on, I approve. Go for 1 or 2 more of whatever it is you're taking. Good, good, good. And then find your nice neutral position. Hands directly underneath your shoulders. Wrap those biceps to shine forward. Push the palms down and flatten your spine to the sky. I always talk about balancing shit on our bodies as a way to bring your brain into the mix. So now you're balancing a cup on the back of your head, your mid-upper back, and the tip of your butt crack, your sacrum. Try not to spill any of those dishes or cups as you send your right arm straight forward by your ear. Pause here. I want you to spin the palm as close up to the ceiling as you can. Notice if it feels super tight in the shoulder. Don't worry if your palm isn't flat up towards the sky. You're just finding a little rotation in that shoulder joint. And then slowly lower that hand right back down into the mat. Feel your handprint press down before sending that left arm forward. Finding that there was very little shift from kneecap to kneecap. Pause with that arm extended. Can you spin the left palm to the sky? Notice if this has more range of motion or less. Don't read too much into it, it's natural. And then bring that palm right back down. Finding rotation in the shoulders, what keeps those shoulders healthy. Finding rotation in the shoulders, what lets you find overhead reach safely. So as you find that little pull of your palm to the sky, don't force it until you feel the side of your neck work. If you are feeling the side of that neck work, keep the arm low. Does not matter. Good. Last 2. 1 on either side. Notice if you've let your chin sink towards the floor. Think about letting the tip of your nose slide slightly forward. That is tough for me to say. Last one on the left. Good. Bringing both hands down. You're going to tuck your toes. You're going to hover your knees 1 inch off the mat. You're going to slide your butt back over your heels, taking a big press from the hands, and then lift your butt to the sky. Find your downward dog. Take a second. Get a little stretch in the shoulders, a little stretch in the side body. Do whatever you need. Take 1 or 2 more little pedals or rotations or breaths or sips of water. And then using your abs, you're going to pull those knees in, find a bend, set them right back down on the floor beneath you where you found them. Untuck the toes, take 1 cat-cow. Good. From here, you're going to go ahead and find that right arm lengthening forward by your ear. Once you find it lengthening forward, left leg is going to extend back. Now pause. Try and drop your left hip bone to the floor a little more. Challenge your balance like you feel like you're going to fall to that left side. And then push that left palm even heavier into the mat. Take a breath. Your palm is going to spin to the sky as your toes spin out to the left side of the room. Feel your butt activate, feel your shoulder activate, and then flip the palm to face in, toes to the floor. So I always think of like spinning my palm to the sky like I'm asking someone for a donut. At the same time, I'm putting out a cigarette with my left heel. Guys, I don't know where I fucking think of this shit. But as you find this rotation in your hip and in your shoulder, can you stabilize in the rest of your core, in the rest of your body as your belly stays lifted, as your left shoulder stays firing? Last 2. Good. Final 1. No big deal. Bring those limbs in, hand down, knee down. Find the toes tucking, push into the palms, lift the belly, hover the knees, slide your butt back, butt to the sky, downward dog. Take a breath. Notice if you're feeling a little warmth in the left hip and left shoulder, or right hip and right arm and left hip. Take 1 more breath here. We just got to knock it out on the other side. So scoop the knees in from your abs, set those knees down. Find a cat-cow with your toes untucked. Let it just feel real nice. And then we're going for that left arm, right leg. Once you find that nice neutral position, all of your cups are balanced on the back side of your body for fun. You extend that left arm forward. Again, it can be closer to the floor than by your ear. And then extend your right leg straight back. Take a breath in, drop your right hip bone to the floor, flip your left palm to the sky the best you can. Externally rotate that right leg, toes point out. See if you can lift from that underbutt just a little bit more. Spin the arm in, spin the toes down. Palm spins up, toes spin out. Palm spins in, toes spin down. If you have no idea what your palm or foot are doing, not a big deal. Focus on stability. Focus on feeling your belly button stay drawn in, your ribs staying connected. 3 more. How long is your neck? If you shortened it in like a turtle, pull it back out. Last 2. Gorgeous. On this final 1, find that spin. Take a breath in. Lower the hand, lower the knee, tuck the toes straight up to that hover. Push your butt back. Pike your hips up, downward dog. Take a second once you're there. Pedal out the legs as much as you need. Walk your hands a little farther forward. And then lift those heels, keeping your legs nice and straight. Drop the crown of the head. Roll your nose to navel as you find yourself in your high plank. Woo! Once you arrive in the high plank, spin both biceps forward. Tuck a little bit more. Shine your chest a little farther forward and breathe for 3. Can you create a little more heat as you exhale for 2? Last 1. Set your knees down wide. Untuck your toes. Take a well-deserved child's pose. Let your hands do whatever they need to get a little opening in the back body. I always let my forearms relax so that my shoulders can take it as a sign to like kick it for a moment. Otherwise they stay fired on. Perfect. Take 1 last little breath here. Good. And then you're going to slowly bring yourself up. Find all 4s 1 final time. I promise we won't be on our wrists here. We're just going to take 1 cat-cow. Find the lift of your chest. Slowly round nose to navel. Gorgeous. From here, you're going to step your toes back. Pike your butt straight up. Find that downward dog. Walk your feet towards your hands and find your forward fold. Let your arms dangle off your body, bend the knees as much as you need. Let your cheeks melt a little bit more towards your eyeballs. And then bend the knees, exhale, restack your spine bone by bone. Amazing. At the top, big deep shoulder roll up and back, let the arms hang heavy. Finding a bit of standing work for something similar that we just did. You're gonna find your feet nice and parallel. You can still face the front edge of the mat. Hands can find hips. Left foot is gonna stay grounded. Right knee is gonna pull in and up. You can take that right shin into your hand. Take a breath in, find some balance here. Keeping your left leg exactly as is, you're gonna open that right thigh. Take a breath, lower that leg with control, bringing it back to parallel. You just found your full rotation. Doing the left side, press into that right foot, little to no shift. Pull the left knee in, take the knee with the hand if you need to. Notice if you're hiking that left butt cheek, can you sink it back down, but pull the knee a little higher up towards the sky, finding deeper flexion. Widen that thigh. Feel your abdominals, stabilize the pelvis. With control, let that leg come down. Find the floor. This is your go-to to stay with if your balance is like, nah, not today. Taking one more on either side before we progress. This in itself is extremely challenging. Good. Last one on the left. Maybe your hands just find the hip bones. Ooh. Gorge. The next time that you pull that right knee in and up towards your chest, we hold. Take a deep breath in, drop your right hip bone, use the hand if you need, otherwise hands can rest by your side. You're gonna open that thigh. You're gonna sweep it back behind you. Take a breath in, you now have a backwards figure four. You should feel that whole external rotation on that right hip. You're gonna widen that leg, pull it back in front of you. We're doing that 4 more times. Left leg is staying stable, open wide. Keep the shape of your leg, slide it back behind your knee, squeeze your butt cheeks together, tilt your pubic bone forward. Open it wide, pull it back in, think, rotate that thigh bone in. Last 3. Ooh, try and find stability. Your foot can always find the floor at any point. Make sure that you are not turning that left leg off. You are staying super engaged, especially as the ankle slides behind the knee. Last 2, no rush. Can your hip bones stay like headlights pointing forward? Can it all come together at the bottom? Oh, last one, we're gonna keep that leg slid behind the left knee. Pause here, this is the fun part. You're gonna try and sink down as if you were sitting on your ankle like a chair. And then you're gonna stand right back up. We go for 6, take your time. I'm pressing my right knee open as I sink directly down into my left hip. Driving back to stand. If you're like, Sam, this is gross, I don't want it, take your right toes to the floor just behind and take your little curtsy lunge. Last 3, no rush. Remember that that right knee is actively pressing open. Hands are doing whatever they need to do to help you balance. Ooh. Last 2. Gorgeous. On this last one, we're gonna sink it down and hold, because why wouldn't we? Find whatever you need to find with your hands. Breathe. Left knee forward, right hip, knee open, hip bones still facing forward. Breathe for 4. Can you sit a little deeper for 3? Press that right knee open for 2. Don't fall out of it. You're gonna stand up on 1. You're gonna slide that right knee wide. You're gonna pull it back through center. You're gonna step that foot down. You're gonna forward fold. Woo, take a second. Find your forward fold. Make sure you're facing one edge of your mat. Give it all a little pedal. Hands are gonna walk out. Feet are gonna walk out. Hello, high plank. We missed you. If you need to come to forearms, no big deal. You're gonna go ahead and find that hover of the right leg. You're gonna pull it wide to the outside of your right elbow. Take a breath in, send it back out. Breathe, have it at a hover if you can. If not, that foot steps down, no big deal. And then twist so that right knee finds your left elbow. Back to center, send it long. I asked you to go for 4. You can say fuck you and sit into a child's pose. I love it. Listen to your body for 3. Resist the urge to rush through when it gets hard. Find a little more breath. For 2. Ooh, my left leg's on fire. Good, make sure you are nice and even on 1. Step that right foot back, you're in your high plank for 3. Find your best form for 2. Last one, set those knees down, untuck those toes, take a child's pose. Mostly because I need it. Give your hips a little wiggle side to side. Take a moment, we just gotta knock it out on our other butt cheek. Deep breath in. I want you to just walk your hands towards your knees here. Come up into your forward fold, however is easiest for you. If you want to flow through a downward dog or a plank, go ahead. I'm going straight to my forward fold. Take a second. Find a little length in the back of the neck. Maybe take a little sway left and a little sway right. A little heaviness. Back to center, let it go. Bend the knees, restack the spine. Beautiful. At the top, juicy shoulder roll. Find your feet parallel. Start in the same way. Right foot stays heavy, left knee lifts in and up. Use the hand if you need. Open the left thigh. Lower it down with control. Find your balance. Right knee lifts in and up. Open your thigh. Send it down. Find control. How much more can you ask your abdominals to support you here? Remember when you were on all fours, extending your leg long and your arm long. You asked them to work so much. See if you can ask even just a quarter of that here. Good, the next time that left knee is in and up, stays in and up. Party time. Take a second, notice if your balance is a little bit better on this side or worse, no big deal. Just notice it. Start to open that left thigh wide. Good, you're gonna slice that left heel behind your right knee. Squeeze it all together, hip bones are both headlights. Sweep it up. Pull it in. Take a breath. Go wide. Lower as you sweep that heel behind your knee. Take a breath. Everything squeezes together, knees still pressing wide. Slide it up. Pull it in. Let's go for 5. Try and find a little activity through the foot. Unlike me, where I kind of just let it be a baked potato, try and really point or flex, whatever helps you feel more engagement. Remember, this is all happening right at that hip crease the best it can. So if it's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit smaller. Check in with that right leg. It's still doing something for you. Last 2. Good. The next time that you slice it back, we hold. Take a second. Press that ankle in the back of your knee. Press that left knee open just a little bit more. You're going to start to bend that right knee as if you were sitting onto the heel. Take a breath in. Stand it up nice and tall. Reconnect it all at the top. Sink back. So this glute is my rock star glute. It's like, I got this. Let's do this on one toe. But I tend to hike my hip a little bit more on this side. So maybe challenging myself to go a little bit smaller, but to find a little more engagement with better form, right? Last 3. Like you're sitting in a chair. 2 more, try and unclench the toes if they're gripping your mat. Good, on this last one, you guys, we sit into our chair, we hold. Take a beat. You can always let the left toes find the floor. Press the left knee open, right knee forward. Stick your butt out. Pull your belly in for 3. For 2. For 1. Slowly stand tall. Left knee rises wide. Oh. Squeeze that leg in. Lower that leg down, forward fold. Ooh. This time as you find your forward fold, let your fingertips find the mat. Pedal out one leg, pedal out the other leg, taking a little twist in the opposite direction if it feels good. You got one more plank, right? I almost forgot. But then I remembered, so walk those hands out. Last little bit. Find your high plank. Take a breath in, left knee to left elbow wide. You just made this motion. Send it back to a hover or plant it down, whatever you gotta do. Left knee crosses to right elbow. Send it long. Just 4 more like this. Don't let your nose drop. You're balancing those cups on your whole backside. Both glutes are working and active. 2 more. Slow it down. Tell yourself something positive. Last one. Step the left foot down, find your high plank, breathe. Tilt your chest forward. Take one more big breath in and out. Set the knees down wide. Butt back over your heels. Child pose. Take a moment. Give it all a little shake. You're going to walk yourself up until you are seated on your heels. Give your shoulders a little roll. We take one little stretch to end it, you guys. If you need a dip, all good. Thanks for coming. Left shin is going to find the front edge of your mat. Right shin is back, so you're in this 90-90 bend. If this is already super tight on your hip, adjust that back leg however feels best. I want you to sit upright. Try and sink your right butt cheek back so you are seated on both cheeks. My right glute isn't touching the floor, but you're trying to will it into existence. And then I'm going to push my right hip bone forward, opening that whole front side of my right hip. Breathe into it. Your hands can touch the floor for support at any point. Do that 3 more times. You're now pivoting your hip socket on top of that thigh bone. For 2. Good. Final one. Beautiful. Find it back through center. This is the hard part. Use your hands if you need it. You're going to try and open your right knee as you spin to almost this little squat. And then draw yourself up and over to the other side. Good. Right shin is now in front. Adjust anything you need to adjust. Try and sit your left butt cheek down. If that bugs the knee, don't force it. And then think of pushing your hip bone forward, twisting slightly to the right as you find a little stretch in the front of that left hip. Lean your chest forward if you're getting any sensation in the low back. And then drop that butt back again. Good. My left hip is a little tighter. To the side's a little crankier. That's okay, go a little smaller. Just try and listen in for these last few moments as to how your hips feel. If you're holding tension anywhere that you don't need, toss that shit. One more. You're going to find yourself seated. Open that left knee, find that little child squat. Slide your legs into your comfortable position just like when you started. Let your hands find somewhere on your body. Maybe it's the same place it was when you started. Let your eyes close. And take one head circle in either direction at your own pace. Doesn't matter how it looks. Just let it feel good as your spine stays nice and neutral. And as the muscles in your face just melt. Reversing when you've finished one. And the next time you feel your head arrive right back on top of the spine. Grow a little taller through the crown of the head. Interlace your fingers. Push your palms up towards the sky. I don't know why it's my fave, but it's my fave. Feel like you're getting pulled up to the ceiling by the wrists. And then soften the shoulders. Let the hands separate. Reach as far to the sides of the room as you possibly can until your hands find the floor. That's it. Happy Tuesday. Happy Instagram Live Tuesday. If you have questions, y'all, let me know. I went over. Oh well. Thanks for coming. Have a beautiful night, a beautiful week if I don't see you in live class. Bye, everybody.